Welcome to episode 70 of Motivating Mondays, a weekly podcast and YouTube series dedicated to help Canadian job developers and other employer engagement professionals develop the tools, resources, expertise, and network to excel at achieving sustainable employment outcomes for their clients or students. My name's Christian Saints here, National Director of the Canadian Job Development Network, and today we're going to talk about specificity in job search. Too often, job seekers are trying to genericize their resume and cover letter to apply for as many jobs as possible, and instead they are getting passed over because they lack clear purpose. Effective action planning requires pinpoint clarity to achieve meaningful employment outcomes. After more than 2 decades of experience in the career development sector, I've come to the opinion that nothing supports a job seeker in achieving employment outcomes more than clarity of purpose. I believe this is the cornerstone of career development. We can have clients with the perfect experience or unrelated experience, all or few of the qualifications required, or an ability to immediately transition to the job, or the need for ongoing coaching and mentorship. We get our clients with their unique set of skills and abilities, and our job is to help them make the most of it. When I would coach job seekers, I would work with them to ensure that their resumes and cover letters were as specific as possible. I would encourage them to speak about their skills and abilities in relation to the job so they could present themselves as professionally as possible. But before all of that takes place, we need to take a moment to assess the situation, set a goal, and determine how that goal is to be achieved. In career development, we call this developing an action plan. And for some organizations, this is even done before the individual meets with their job developer. But what drives action plan development? An action plan is intended to address a problem. The problem is to find a job, but it's critical for us, and more importantly for our clients, to think the problem through rather than to immediately immerse ourselves in the steps needed to resolve that problem. If we don't think it through, we might not be doing the right things to resolve the problem or even understand the problem itself. In the Canadian Army, as well as multiple other military organizations around the world, they've developed an acronym called SMEAC, S-M-E-A-C. Soldiers and units often need to resolve problems independently and often when they can't receive orders. The SMEAC provides a framework for resolving these problems. So SMEAC stands for Situation. Describe the current environment, terrain, weather, or context. Mission. State the clear, concise goal to be achieved. Execution. Detail the steps to reach the goal. Administration and logistics. List the required equipment, supplies, and funding. And finally, command and signal. Who is in charge? While this is clearly framed to support soldiers in a combat environment, we can draw a great deal of insight for our clients or students. To better understand this application, let's break it down piece by piece. Situation. When asked about their situation, the client might simply state, "Hey, I need a job, I need to get back to work." But it's understanding their situation that allows us to make effective suggestions. For instance, their situation might be that they're 20 years old and have never worked before. They might be brand new to the country and have limited English language capability, and their credentials aren't being recognized. Perhaps they have a physical impairment, and it's hard for employers to look past this to consider them for employment. These are real barriers that are holding people back from employment, but if we don't talk about them, we can't come up with solutions to overcome them. So let's talk about mission. The mission must be articulated as specifically as possible. My goal is to obtain a graphic designer role with a mid to large size company in the consumer products manufacturing sector within a 1-hour transit ride from my home. This level of specificity eliminates a large number of potential employers or job alternatives. But when people open themselves up to more opportunities, they often diminish what they can contribute to their ideal employer. It's not to say that they can't consider other opportunities. They just want to be laser focused on their objective. Then we have execution. Execution is often where we jump in the career development sector. We start by coming up with job search plans and targets and resume styles, but without a clear goal, it's very difficult to refine this process. Once your client has a clear idea of their ideal employer, they can then develop a list of employers who meet this criteria, key contact people, websites, social media handles, research, and a strategy for cold calling these employers. Once your client has a clear, job search through posted jobs, job fairs, and networking events also are important parts of execution, but they must augment a clearly refined objective, not replace it. So administration and logistics. Administration and logistics detail how the job search is going to be conducted. The equipment might be a professional outfit for job search, a tailored resume, a personalized cover letter template, a prepared elevator pitch, a list of references, a job search log, a strategy for follow-up. It would be helpful for job developers to have an actual checklist that you give clients with the tools that they need to accomplish their objective. Logistics can also support career development organizations or it can be also the supports that career development organizations provide, such as funded working gear or short-term training, wage subsidy, job coaching, workplace modifications, grants, or even bursaries. Command and signal. Command is simply who is in charge, and signal is about communications. If you immediately think that you, the job developer, are in charge, this is going to be a huge challenge. Your client or student has to be in charge. They need to understand that they are in charge and they are setting the direction. Too often, job developers are left at the mercy of clients who are uncommunicative, who fail to follow through, who seem less than invested. Setting up clients to be in charge doesn't mean that we have to work for them, only that we are providing supports that they can't provide for themselves to accomplish their mission. It's also critical for us to set up a clear flow of communication. The client needs to be initiating communication. Whether it's with employers or their job developer, the clearest demonstration of commitment to their action plan is the client initiating and following through on communication in a predictable manner. Communication can be emails, texts, scheduled appointments, or social media hits. Requiring this of the individuals ensures that they continue to be engaged, they follow through on their own action, and that they follow through on their own action plan. The job market is significantly harder in 2026. And we're not sure where it's going. Achieving employment outcomes requires more points of contact, follow-up, and effective employer engagement. The better we prepare our clients to take ownership of their own job search, to reach out to employers, and to present themselves as professionally as possible, the better their chances will be. Successfully developing the SMEAC focused action plan is intended to build confidence and help clients present themselves as positively as possible. And at the end of the day, this is the very best calling card you have as a job developer. Labor market information is a critical part of effective job development. And we have labor market reports for most of Canada. We have labor market reports for British Columbia, Alberta, the Prairies, Ontario, and Atlantic Canada. If you're not currently receiving this information, but you'd like more information, go to jobdevelopment.org and you will see colorful links to each report on the main page there. If you have any questions, send me an email, cstcyr@labormarketsolutions.ca. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, these sessions are available on YouTube and most other podcast platforms. Just search for Motivating Mondays wherever you download podcasts and subscribe, like, or share. It really does help other job developers and other career professionals across Canada find this. We do these sessions live and for free every Monday morning on Microsoft Teams with job developers from across Canada. It was so great if you could join us. Just go to jobdevelopment.org to learn more. Or if you have any questions, send me an email. My email address is cstcyr@labormarketsolutions.ca. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have an amazing week.